what I wanted to do is basically, I wanted to kind of like talk about them. So basically, like right now, so if I go into like arcade, what is it? Arcade? So if I go to arcade now, and then I highlight over the characters, so it'll be like, alright, so I'll ask, so who are the beginner characters? Then you'll be like, the beginner characters are X, Y, and Z. They'll be like, okay, you'll be like, this character's a grappler. So for example, Waldstein is a grappler. Hyde, you can kind of play him like a Shoto character. You can play this character like, I don't know, a long distance zoning, you know, like that, basically.
Perfect.
And the reason why I wanted to do a videos like this is because usually with tutorials and stuff like that, it's kind of a thing of like people do long tutorials, and this needs to just, I just want it to kind of be like a compact, yeah, if you want to start off, this is the character you should choose, but it's coming from your perspective, as in like who you think, you know. And it's me, I'm kind of like starting to come into the game a bit, so it's like I want to know from your perspective anyways, but it's basically teaching everyone rather than just you telling me, if that makes sense.
Perfect. Yeah, I can definitely do that. First, I want to start off with saying, have you played any anime games at all?
So
compared to this,
I played Dragon Ball FighterZ today for the second time, and I played this for the fourth time. I'm pretty okay.
Oh, nice. So, I know that you're quick to adapt to fighting games, so I imagine you can pick up on a few nice things.
Yeah. I was playing Enkidu. Is that his name?
Enkidu?
Yeah.
So Enkidu, is that the character you're feeling the most right now?
Yeah, because he reminds me of like Akira from Virtua Fighter.
Yes.
Solid
very
hits.
Much like very brawler.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that's basically it. So how do you? Is it Coefficient?
So it's my name is Koefficient.
Coefficient. That's it. Coefficient.
Yeah.
Okay.
There you go. Yeah.
Right,
It's
cool.
you can call me Co. You can call me Koefficient, whichever one you want to call.
Okay.
So,
Cool.
You're good.
All right. Cool. So stream chat, we have Coefficient here, and I would like to say, you do Unis, and do you do any other games content, or is it just Unis?
Oh yeah. So I do mostly. I'm on YouTube and I'm on Twitch too, and I do. Mostly, I did a lot of BB Tag, Blaze Blue. I'm mostly a Blaze Blue guy.
Okay.
When Central Fiction came out, I did a whole bunch of stuff with that game. Then BB Tag got announced, and I did a lot of stuff with that game. I loved it. And then I got into Under Night a long time ago, and then Under Night Uni ST came out.
Yeah.
And I did a lot of stuff with that. And then UNICLR, I haven't been doing nearly as much as I did with Uni ST, but I still do like UNICLR. The reason why is because I've been digging Grand Blue a lot, and I've been going in on that game straight up. So, but I am still playing UNICLR. I still because UNICLR or Under Night has one of my favorite fighting game characters of all time, which is Yuzuriha. I love that character with all my being, so I come back to it frequently. So I do a whole bunch of stuff like that. But alongside that, I just do video games and stuff. So.
Alright, sick, man. Alright, so we're gonna start off. I'm gonna introduce you, and then we'll basically just go through the characters and just let me know what we think of each character and if they're a beginner character, intermediate, or advanced character. And then,
Perfect.
Yeah, I'll probably play like a couple matches in ranked if you want to chill around and see what I'm doing. Then that'll be sick as well. Alright, cool. Alright, so 3, 2, 1. Yo, what's going on, everyone? It's your boy King J, and this is another Teach Me series. I know that you lot haven't seen another fighting game. It's always been Tekken. This is the first game that has not been Tekken, which is going to be on the Teach Me series. And we have Coefficient here. Thank you very much for joining us.
Not a problem. Thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure. I've been a big fan of the Tekken stuff. I play Tekken as well, so
nice.
It's been fun seeing you explore different fighting games.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you very much, man. This is one of the games that I really like. I'm not great, or I'm starting to get better at it, but I really enjoy it, and I just wanted to know. Yeah, I just wanted to know what characters. I'm on the character select screen. I'm gonna ask you a few questions about the characters, whether they're beginner or not. And we're gonna start off with Phonon. Is she
we'll go from left to right, pretty much, right?
Yeah.
I'll go through the entire roster, and I'll give you a brief breakdown of every character and kind of scale them on how easy and how hard they are in terms of gameplay, and of course how to pick them up. in terms of all that stuff. So first, let's start off with Phonon. So Phonon is a character. For the longest time, she was top tier back in UNIST. She's received a couple of nerfs, but that doesn't mean that she's bad anymore. She's really, really good. She's a whip character, long range, rush down, has a projectile, has mix-ups out the wazoo. Pressure is crazy. You have to shield a whole bunch of stuff. There's a lot of things in the game's mechanics that is very important to know about if you want to play against this character. But Phonon is a very, very strong long-range rush down. She can basically do everything. The only thing that she doesn't have is a meterless reversal. She does have a reversal, but it does cost meter. But nonetheless, this character is incredibly strong if you want to do something with long range and just rush down and projectiles and all that. She's got everything.
Okay. And then
not to mention she got a snake as a whip, so pretty nice.
And then Nanase?
Nanase, yes.
Nanase.
One of the things you have to know about this character is that her theme is very memeable. So her theme sounds. So if you look up Nanase's theme and you look up the trumpet version, you know what I mean. And that's all I'm going to say about that. When it comes to the character, though, the character itself, she is extremely rushed down. She is mostly just trying to set up some set play with her fireballs. She's got one of the best fireballs in the game for not only zoning, but also for set play. Just throwing something out there, and for you to just throw something out there and you to kind of like back it up, and you try to follow it up and pressure the opponents. Similar to how Guile has his slow fireball, and then he kind of follows it.
Yeah.
She's on the same boat as that, but like times a million. She uses wind, so she can her force function, which is the unique attack specific to that character, consists of a float. And new to UNICLR, she can actually follow up her projectiles with her floats, which makes it really, really ambiguous.
Oh, nice.
And she's she's pretty simple as well. She's one of the most simple characters. I would say she's definitely like on my list of 5 most simpler characters. She's pretty simple to pick up. She's got different ways to be able to get in, not only with the projectile, but with a specific lunge move that she has that she can just go full screen. And she's got a EX move that she can make herself safe, and she's got a lot of really cool tools like that. But she's definitely one of the most simpler characters to pick up.
Okay, cool. So then, what about moving around Seth? Yeah, because I heard this character is very, very setup heavy, and I heard he's very hard.
So this is one of the hardest characters in the game, but one of the most rewarding characters. He was considered to be either top 2 or the best character in the game in UNIST. We're still trying to figure out who's the best and who's not in UNICLR, but UNIST, he was definitely one of the greatest characters. Mostly because of his setups and his damage and his mix-ups. He has unblockable setups, and he's got different ways to be able to just basically open you up. But with that being said, he's got a lot of techniques that you have to hold. You have to be able to move around. You're very active with this character, which is what makes him so difficult.
Yeah.
You have to know what to do. You have to be quick on your feet. But nonetheless, that doesn't mean that he doesn't have, his routes that are pretty simple to do. He's got his basic routes, but to master this character, I don't think anybody has necessarily mastered this character. And you're gonna see that alongside all the harder characters, is that there's always something new and something that you won't get every time with that character because they're so hard. And to play perfectly with that character, it's like, it reminds me a lot of if you ever played Smash, I know I'm bringing up Smash, but this is a good comparison. If you play like Fox, where he's very technical, if you play perfect every time, then you're gonna basically win every time. But it's kind of hard to play perfect every time. So Seth is one of the harder ones, but he's really, really good, really rush down heavy, very mix up heavy.
Nice. Waldstein. Oh, is that how you say it? Like, because these names, obviously, like I said, I'm not no Unis pro, so I might be saying the names wrong. So just correct me if I'm wrong.
No,
is it Waldstein?
One of my favorite things to do is to mispronounce character names so I can trigger people. So don't you worry about that. One of my favorite things to do. So Waldstein, whatever, Wally, whatever you want to call him. He's the grappler of the game, of course. He's huge. He's ginormous. One of the things about this character that I really, really like is that he initiates. I don't know if you hear my dog, but I apologize if you do. But for the most part, Waldstein is the grappler, of course. You can get in. His main thing is to use his ginormous range normals, because he's one of the few grapplers in a fighting game that has ginormous normals. And he has situations where he can he can be plus on block, and the whole reason behind that is because he wants to make you not press buttons and make you challenge him, so you can of course get scooped.
Yeah.
So that's his whole game plan. He's on the. I'm not super familiar with Waldstein right now. I just know his main game plan, and he's one of the characters that I haven't really dabbled on too much. Just because, even though I really wanted to, because I played BB Tag and he's in that game. And he's a lot more simpler in that game, but in this game, he's definitely really, really slow. Dash is not very good. His walk speed is not very good. But his ability to be able to get B plus on block and, of course, be able to scoop you and take you to the corner because he has God Press, which is basically just the grab taking you all the way to the corner, to the window to the wall, as I like to call it.
Yeah.
For the most part, yeah, he's I want to say he's on the. I heard people say that he's a pretty simple character to pick up at first, harder to master. But I would put him because it's the grappler archetype, and you have to learn how to take it slow and be patient until you can get in and do your damage. I would put him in around the intermediate level, or like to beginner to intermediate, not full intermediate, but like around that area.
Okay, cool. And Hyde.
He's the Shoto. He's the main character, the MC. You can tell by the amount of belts he has on his outfit. So he is the Shoto, basically, and he is incredibly good. He is super good. In UniST, and he got even better here in Clear. He actually got more even. He's been simplified because he has a Rekka series. He has a projectile. He has a laser beam now, which he didn't used to have, which can blow up projectile. It's full screen, wall bounces. He can combo off of it. Very, very strong. So, for the most part, this character is incredibly good if you want to pick up the game, because he'll teach you a lot of things. Combos, you got damage, combos, ways to get in, pressure is crazy. And he also has one of the more unique things about this character in this game, actually. He has chip damage. His normals do chip damage. And in this game, they increase his chip damage. So, he can make you pay, or he can make you hurt just by blocking. And if you get your grid broken, which is the grid is incredibly important in this game, and grid breaks you and you can't shield properly and you can't necessarily prevent too much chip damage, oh my god, he can make you hurt real bad. But either or, he is a pretty simple character to pick up at first. You can never go wrong with Hyde. Having a pocket Hyde is pretty important in this game, to be honest, just so you can get the understanding on how he works to fight against him and also to pick him up in general. So it's a pretty simple character. He's along the top 5 characters that I would say he's one of the easiest.
So would you say he's top 5 in terms of strength as well, or would you say top 5 as in one of the easier characters to use?
One of the easier characters to use. I don't know if he's top 5 in general, because there's other characters that are really good too. But I would say he's top mid tier. At least he was in UniST, but he might be better here in UNICLR just because of his buffs and his accessibility and such.
I mean, we can definitely get into top 5 after the character overview for sure, because I really want to know who the top 5 are. So
I'll tell you. Oh yeah.
What's Linne? Linne?
So I call her Linne, but everybody gets triggered by me it's pronounced Linne.
Linne, okay.
I call her Linne because I love seeing those dance game Linne in the chat. Oh, I love it. But anyways, yes, she is another character that is actually a really fun character, just because she's a short little girl, of course, but she's got some pretty good reach. She's got this sword that has some pretty good range. She's got a fantastic fireball. Actually, one of the best. It's called Kuga, and one of the things about this character that's really important when picking her up is to learn how to Tiger Knee, because her Kuga setups require to make her plus and to make it worthwhile for you to actually do the fireball is for you to Tiger Knee them. So, and because of that, I would put her in the more intermediate portion, but she's actually a pretty simple character to pick up at first. But to master her, you do need to know how to do TK. Her TK routes can be kind of, infuriating online because of lag and such. So I can see people not necessarily feeling her too much. But either or, she's a very rushdown heavy character. They gave her quite a few buffs. They gave her this crazy slam on the ground, which opened up new routes. And they gave her a few more things that I'm missing, of course, but I haven't really looked into this character too much, but she is very strong. She is a really strong character, rushdown heavy. If you like rushdown heavy characters, this is a character for you. But if you like a little more technical with the Tiger Knees and stuff, this is also a character for you.
So would you say it's a beginner-friendly character?
It's hard to say. I would say she's on the beginner to intermediate as well. Same thing as Waldstein. Just because she's simple to pick up. Her combo routes are pretty easy, but to really master her and to be able to utilize the character effectively, you need to learn how to TK.
Okay.
So, yeah. So on the intermediate, I would put her.
Okay. Carmine.
Ooh. I love this character. This character is really, really fun to use and really fun character to watch. He is one of the hardest characters in the game, by far, because he utilizes a lot of negative edge and he utilizes a lot of holds. And not only that, but his main game plan is to throw spikes and just to put blood puddles on the screen, the spin wheels. And every time he uses his blood, it actually takes away a chunk of his health. So he uses his health as a resource.
He's like a double-edged character, right?
Yes, but at the same time, he's got some things that nobody else has. But overall, as a character, a lot of other characters do this exact same thing he does, but just a little bit better. The only thing I would say that would make him very unique to the rest of the cast is probably his blood prison setups, but that got nerfed in this game, which is unfortunate. But the character's really fun, and he's super badass. I really like watching Carmine. But most Carmine players have dropped him, so it's unfortunate.
Why is that then? Is that because that the nerfs?
There's some nerfs that kind of stray away from playing Carmine now. He has this move where he imprisons you in like this blood prison thing, and you take damage over time. And you can also use this mechanic called Veil Off. And Veil Off is basically when you use your entire meter to be able, and it starts in a countdown. Yeah. And it strips chain shift. So they would use it as a chain shift strip, and they would also use it as a way to, combo it into more supers and such. So because once you veil off, you can use it outside and not hit the character, but the veil off strip is pretty big. So.
Okay. All right. So Carmine, would you say? So you would say this is advanced character?
One of the hardest. Yes, this is a very advanced character. This is one of the top 3 hardest characters to use by far.
Crazy. And Yuzu.
Oh, this is my character. I love this character. This is one of the hardest characters to learn in this game as well. Every patch or every game, they've simplified her more and more. But to be able to get to all her stuff, like I could go hours talking about her nitty gritty stuff because she's got a lot of it. She is extremely good. In UNIST, it was said that if she played optimally, if she know all the matchups, she did not have one single bad matchup.
Serious?
Yeah. So this is one of the characters that was incredibly good. One of the people that came out last year for UNIST, Kure, one of the best, actually the best Yuzu in the world, if not one of the best. Came out to Evo and he placed 3rd, I think. Something like that, but he hardly comes out to tournaments, and he came out last year for Evo, and I was like over the moon that he came out because I always see the Japanese replays, and he's always dominating. And he's like top of the leaderboards most of the time in the Japanese rankings. So when he came out, it was over the moon. But anyways, this character is super technical. She is more of a mid-screen zoner, so she uses her slashes to be able to keep the opponent out and also to pressure. She has teleports out the wazoo. She can actually utilize, she has a stock mechanic where each button she uses, you can do different slashes and different teleports to be able to mix everybody around. But either or, she is extremely good.
Nice.
One of the hardest though.
Byakuya.
Byakuya.
That's how you say it. Byakuya. How you say it one more time?
Byakuya.
Byakuya.
So you go Byakuya.
Whoa. One more time.
You can say Byakuya.
Byakuya.
I don't like this character, so you can say however you want.
I can't say it right, but I don't care. Tell me about this character, man.
So this character won Evo last year. He's one of the best characters too. Mostly because I hate this character with all my.
So do I.
I'm glad. This is a Spider Boy. He is one of the better characters because his set play and his ways to be able to just pressure you are ridiculous. One of the best normals in the game, to be honest. 2B is ridiculous. His web, his cocoon is ridiculous. And UNICLR, of course, he's been nerfed a little bit, toned down a little bit here in UNICLR, but they gave him a few new things.
Yeah.
However, so Byakuya is incredibly good. He's got a Rekka series that he can delay and he can, stagger. He also has different ways to be able to set up traps. And those traps are very cheap because he's got his main game in UNIST was his grab game. He would put you in a cocoon, set up 3 traps, and depending on what you do, you would get trapped and eat like almost 3 to 4K every time. So he would basically set up traps. You're in the corner, you set up traps, and he would go in for tick grabs, or he would go in for just grabs. And if you try to tech and you miss it, like he would go like run up and then backdash, you would get hit by a web. So and eat 4K. And if you get grabbed, you get thrown into a web, you eat like 3 to 4K. It's super cheap. This character is mad cheap. I hate this character. His corner carry is really good as well. Conversions are extremely good too. And he also has one of the there's a reoccurring theme in this game that I should tell you about, that there's a lot of moves that look like they're lows or look like they're overheads, but they're actually the exact opposite. So there's moves that look like overheads but are actually lows, and there's moves that look like lows but there are actually overheads. He has one of these moves, and it's actually his anti-air. So it's super cheap. This character is really, really good. He's one of the intermediate characters because you do have to know how to set up traps and be able to go around his cocoons. So I would say he's an intermediate character for sure.
Okay, cool. And then, is it Mika or Mika?
Is it Mika or Mika?
Mika, that's what I was saying. One of the two.
So Mika-chan, XD. This character for the longest time was one of the worst.
Yeah.
She didn't have too many tools, but she got some really nice buffs in clear. She is a grappler, like a brawler character, a brawler grappler character. Mostly like brawler because she would utilize her missiles. She would fly around the screen with her missiles, and she was mostly all shenanigans. But they gave her a lot of really cool tools here. I would say she is also in the beginner range as well. She's pretty simple to learn, but to utilize her stuff optimally and to be able to convert off of her missiles, which is just a big old freaking missiles is basically her throwing herself throughout the screen and just blasting off every which direction, so she can mix you up if you don't know what to do. But she has the EX missile, which she can convert off of. She's a very fast-paced character. She's got a lot of different tools that were not very good in the previous patch but are really good here, like 66C, and which is like a drop kick, like a big old drop kick that she puts on you, and then she can convert off of it pretty nicely. So they buffed that on block. If you play this character, if you really want to, I consider this character a pretty mean character because in this game she can actually stay in the air for a very long period of time. The character is pretty strong in this patch. I would recommend her for like beginner to intermediate players, but mostly beginner. She's a pretty beginner heavy. Not the top 5 beginner characters, but she's pretty simple to pick up, but hard to master.
That makes sense. And how you say Akatsuki?
Eltnum.
Yeah, no, we went down, but we can go.
Oh,
we'll do Elton. We'll do Elton actually. We'll do it this way.
Gotcha. So Akatsuki.
Yeah.
Or Akatsuki. I like to call him Akatsuki.
Akatsuki, yeah. Okay.
Akatsuki or Akatsuki, whichever one you want to say. He is a guest character from Akatsuki Blitzkampf, an old school game from back in the day, and they revived him by putting him in this game. And he is a pretty easy character to pick up, actually. He has a very straightforward game plan, has pretty straightforward combos, but this character, when it comes to his hard stuff, there's a lot of delays and a lot of timing things that you have to learn about this character, but overall he's a pretty simple character to pick up. He's known as the Bitatsu Master. Bitatsu, I'm pretty sure you've seen a couple of Bitatsu memes.
Yeah, if you know Street Fighter, Tatsu is the Hurricane Kick. So his Hurricane Kick, the B version, is ridiculously good.
It's super good. Yeah. It's I don't know what it is about the priority, or if it's how fast the startup is, but it's not uncommon to see Akatsuki players just all of a sudden go from neutral, just standing there, to Bitatsu, like in the span of a second. Like all of a sudden, it just happens.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, okay, it's gonna be like that, huh? We have a player, and I don't know if you heard of him. His name is Squish.
Yeah,
he
yeah,
is
yeah.
basically the Akatsuki master. He's been playing him since L,
Yeah.
which is the first. Well, it went Uni, it went Uni L, Uni ST, and UNICLR. So back when he was really bad, like super garbaggio.
Yeah.
But in this patch, he seems to have done a few quality of life changes. Like his walk speed, or I'm sorry, his dash speed got better, and a lot of different things too. But either or, this character is pretty simple to pick up. His main game plan, like compared to the rest of the characters, is very grounded. Mm-hmm. So you're going to be utilizing the system's mechanics a lot with this character, like dash blocking. Yeah. Dash blocking is a super fun mechanic to use if you know how to use it. Yeah. His dash is really good. His stagger is ridiculously good as well. That's mostly how this character gets in and gets the hits. But they gave him a few cool things, like a new air normal that's is plus on block and plus on shield as well, which helps him get in and all that good stuff. So his grab game is really good too. So Akatsuki, pretty simple character to pick up. One of my definitely top 5 easier characters to pick up in this game.
Yeah, I would say if anyone was crossing over from like maybe like I'd say Street Fighter or any games that like that, they would this would be your go-to guy. Like this is the go-to character. Fireball, Tatsu, like he has all of those type of stuff. Because I when I first played the game, this is the first character I went to, and I was like, he reminds me of kind of like a Street Fighter character, kind of. Yeah. So I like
got DP, Tatsu, and Fireball. Yeah, a very grounded game too. So Street Fighter for sure.
Nice. Chaos. What would you say about Chaos?
Chaos. Chaos and his good boy Aji the Haka. I love saying his name. And for the longest time, for like a year, 2 years, I did not know the dog's name. But I finally learned it by going into the story mode after a ton of people have finally convinced me to do it. His name is Aji the Haka. Aji and Chaos, they used to be right next to Akatsuki as one of the worst characters back in L, but both these characters have received buffs every single patch, and this character is no exception either. This is a puppet character, so you use Chaos and you utilize Aji to be able to open your opponent up, utilizing sandwiches to be able to do cross-ups, fake them out. This is one of the harder characters. Well, not super hard, but I put him in intermediate just because you have to learn how to utilize the dog and Chaos at the same time. He's got some pretty cool tools to be able to mix you up and, like I said, put you in a sandwich situation and kind of question on which way you're supposed to block. You have to be able to know when to hit the dog and when you can get past the dog, because if you just let the dog run wild, then you're gonna get blown up by the dog. The dog will eat you and destroy you. So Chaos is a character that's more unique to this game. I don't know too much about him, not a lot. I haven't picked up this character. I was thinking about it because he's such an obscure character. But either or, you have to learn how to utilize two different aspects, the dog and Chaos, to be able to pick up this character.
So what would you say this character is? Intermediate or advanced? We gotta skip beginner, because if you're controlling two characters.
No. This is intermediate to hard, for sure.
Intermediate.
Yeah, this is definitely intermediate. Yes, but not as hard as the other characters I mentioned that are hard.
Okay, cool. All right, so we move on to Vatista.
Yeah, Vatista. I think one of the winners and champions of this patch, and she was already like top 3, top 5 in the previous game, and she's still up there. And they gave her a lot of really cool things. She's one of the hardest characters in the game. She's top 3 hardest characters. I think the top 3 I would put for hardest is Yuzu, Seth, and Vatista. Yeah. And then Carmine like at 4th and such. And then another one that we haven't talked about at 5th. I'll talk about her in a moment. But Vatista, she's a charge character, and she's one of the more obscure characters that has charges, because she has an up to down charge. Yes, it's her drill. Okay. Her drill, you have to hold up and then go down to do it in the air. If you play hitbox, this is extremely. I have a friend that plays hitbox and plays Vatista, and he gets out the drills like that. So it's really easy. She has a flash kick. She has a projectile like similar to Guile, and she also has a beam, which is also an obscure charge motion. It's forward to back, so it's her full screen beam. That's her motion for it. So because of these inputs, because of her she also has holds, which is her mines. So her holds and her charges make her probably the highest execution character in the game. But she's very rewarding, very rewarding, because her zoning and her she also has floats, as though she can stay in the air for a long amounts of time. But either or, her mix-up is really good. They nerfed instant air bead drill, which is just basically land on the ground and then bead drill as an overhead.
Of course they would. They would need to.
Yeah, right.
They would need to.
So there's a lot of stuff like that she does that's just super cheap, and her zoning is ridiculous, and her keep out's crazy, and her combos and mix-ups are great. So this character is extremely good. And then they gave her a brand new move where it's like a yo-yo. Her 2B was like this. She summons like this rolly thing. I don't know what it is, like a fidget spinner.
Yeah.
But in this patch, they made it a yo-yo, so it goes forward and then backwards. And some hilarious hitbox moments have happened because of that. So yeah, this is definitely the champion of this patch for sure, or one of them at least, I should say.
So would you say this character is hard?
Oh, top 3 hardest.
Damn.
Top 3 hardest characters because of her charges and because of her execution and the way to get player optimally can be pretty tough.
Would you say this character is a hitbox character then? Like, as in you would be better off using a hitbox for the charges?
You can utilize. I mean, you can definitely have an easier time using hitbox because, of course, it's easier to use hitbox in general. Period. But for sure, you would have a good time playing hitbox with this character. At least an easier time than motion. Than a stick. I use stick, but you can utilize Vatista with stick too.
That makes sense. So the next person, say the name for me, because I don't know how to say it. Gordeau?
Yeah, it's Gordeau.
Gordeau, okay.
Yeah, Gordeau. Gordeau is super cool. He is also one of the characters I would say he's one of the easier characters to pick up. So I'd categorize him as one of the beginner characters. But he is basically people consider him to be the best grappler in the game.
Yeah.
Because he has this move called Assimilation, and that's a command grab, and it's super good because of his mobility and his strikes and his way to be able to keep you grounded, and he can utilize that to be able to utilize this Assimilation's command grab. Yeah. People categorize him as the best grappler in the game. With that being said, he also has one of the most iconic moves, which is Grim Reaper. A lot of you will not see, you will not go far without seeing at least one Under Night player just all of a sudden randomly shouting Grim Reaper all of a sudden. So this character, Grim Reaper, actually got nerfed in this patch because Grim Reaper used to wall bounce. At least the A version used to wall bounce, which calls for a pretty easy conversion if you have chain shift. Yeah. But that got nerfed in this version. But they did give him a follow-up where it kind of like pulls them in. So either or, this character got some pretty nice quality of life changes in this version. Dash speed got increased. I think that's across the board though. There's some characters that got that buff. But you pick up this character if you like to, of course, grab people and get some nice full screen conversions too. So
okay, so what would you say this character is? Easy?
Yes, easy.
Easy character.
Easy for sure. Yeah, there's a good character to pick up if you're starting the game.
Okay, cool. And then we got Enkidu.
Enkidu, yes. I think this guy is the champion. Not because he's like the best character or the better character, but he got a ton of buffs.
This is my character. This sounds like music to my ears right now. Yes,
this character used to be the worst character in UniST. Even though like players like Londrekia, which made Evo top 8 last year, it made it with Enkidu. The best Enkidu in the world. I should say in North America, but he made top 8, so I don't know how to categorize him now. But anyways, he got a lot of crazy buffs this patch. He is definitely one of the better stagger characters. His stagger got better, but to be honest, I think a lot of characters got his stagger buff. But this character's rush down 100%. He's got a Rekka. He's got different ways to get in now. He's got plus frames out the wazoo. His conversions are really good as well. From UniST to UNICLR, this character got one of the most brain-dead neutral tools in the game now, which is 66C. It's the move where he sticks up his knee and like a purple orb shows up and it's 4 hits and it's really dumb. That move was a single hitting move and minus 15. It went from minus 15 to minus 3, and it now does 4 hits. So it is dummy. But it's really good. To be honest, like a lot of the meme in this day and age with Enkidu is basically whenever you look at like fan-made patches, you all of a sudden you see when you get to Enkidu's section, you say new character added, Enkidu. Because seriously, like he's an actual character now. Like 2-2B, like his stomp is like +8 now or some nonsense like that. And it can Vorpal strip or chain shift strip. So anyways, this character is really good right now. If you want to pick up a brawler, heavy rush down, in your face character that has a lot of stagger, yeah, this character is for you. Is really good now.
So where would you classify him as, beginner? Or
I would put him like on the same section I put Linne and Waldstein, like beginner to intermediate. He's very simple to pick up. Like his combos are relatively easy to do. Yeah. And to be honest with you, like with the current buffs, he's probably, before I used to say beginner to intermediate, and I'm still kind of sticking with that, but I'm leaning towards the beginner section now because of his new buffs, his 6-6C and force function stuff, all that stuff.
Yeah, like he's got parries as well, and he's got BBB CCC, which is the combo says B 3 times, CC 3 times, easy combo.
Yeah, he's got like auto doubles and such, and his parry got way better. I forgot to talk about parry, but his parry's ridiculous now.
Yeah. So that's
really
him. So what's this character? Londrekia.
He's the newer character in this game, and he's definitely a beginner character, like 100%. This is a very easy character to pick up. He's got some unique things that are only new to or unique to this character. Like this is the first character that I've seen that can literally just throw out a super, and you have to hold it while he runs up to you and continues press. So he basically has okay, you're gonna stand there, I'm gonna do my super, walk up to you and start pressuring you. He has that.
That's crazy.
Yeah, he's really fun. His combos are extremely fun. He's a Rekka character. He's got mix-ups within his Rekkas. He can go high, he can go low. Right now, it's being classified as this character is not super strong. But of course, the character's new, so we don't know too much. Okay. But he still has some really interesting things. Like he has a really good like DP, which is, well, it's not super great, but it's okay because
the 2-hit one, right?
Yeah, it's his force function is the ice from the ground right in front of him. It's not throw invincible, but it is strike invincible. So you can anti-air from it, and you can continue chain shift and such. But he's a very fun character to play. If you're a beginner character, because he's very Rekka heavy.
Yeah.
You don't really have to worry about too much about staggering and such. Even though that's really important in this game, his stagger pressure is not too great. You rely mostly on his Rekkas. So he's a very simple character to pick up.
Yeah. Okay, so you'd say beginner character, but not very strong, but you don't know yet because it's a new character.
It's a new character. We're still experimenting. But the general feedback from the character, with myself included, is that okay, he's got some cons, but he's got some pros too. So
okay, I definitely understand that. All right, Wagner. This character I've been hearing about, but I want you to tell me. I want you to tell me about this character.
Wagner is UNICLR. Wagner was really good. A lot of people say she was top tier. I would say she's like just on the cusp of top tier, because she, as you all hear, if you have heard of this character, you heard that one of the best Wagner players, Redblade, one of my favorite terms was she was a mid dispenser. Yeah. That it was like all mids basically, and then reactable overhead and such. But they gave her a few things. They nerfed a few things, which I really agree with. Nerfing this, which was she has this move that's a drill, and she also has buffs, so she can provide installs to her shield and her sword. If she had sword install, she would do the drill, do the follow up, and then do a JC. Held down afterward, it would be gapless, and she would be plus on block and plus on shield. So you have to hold all that entirely. And then her install super, where it buffs both her shield and her sword, was also like +7 or +3 or whatever. She was just plus all the time. She was basically just a gapless monster, just never-ending pressure. and her rebeats are very strong. Like her 5A is extremely fast on whiff.
Yeah.
And she's a very fun character though. I think she is, to be honest. And of course, you can get some when the character first came out, there were a lot of memes and a lot of Twitch clips of her completely shielding DPs, because if she has her shield buff and she does her force function, which is an overhead, she can completely just wreck through DPs entirely. So yeah, she's a very strong character, I think, in this patch too. Well, I should say she's probably in the same tier as she was before, maybe a bit lower because of that nerf from her gapless drill follow-up.
Okay.
But she now has like throw mix-ups as well. Like if you take the throw and she has sword install on and you have all the resources, then you can eat. Well, like I heard that was actually a bug, and they're gonna be changing that soon. Which is the throws. Her throw, because if she has install on, if you hold the throw, she does this follow-up, which you can CVO, which is the offensive bail-off, that you can continue the combo.
Yeah.
Apparently the scaling on that was bugged, and she would do like 6k with max resources. But now, like, we know that's a bug, so it's not too super great. But still, I think the character is really, really fun, really good. I would categorize her as intermediate, because you have to learn how to get all her strings and her gapless strings down, and to be able to open up the opponent as Wagner can be challenging sometimes. Unless you don't know how to play her against her, then forget about it. You're gonna get opened up every time.
So would you say that she's like a zoner type?
Oh no, she's rush down.
Down.
She's hella rush down.
Hella rush down, yeah.
Hella rush down. Yep.
All right, cool. Orie, what do you think about? What do you think about Orie?
Orie, yeah, that's she is a very fun. I actually picked this character up recently. She's super fun. She is definitely more like poking and rushdown type, where she utilizes her lunges. She's basically the rapier type that you mostly see from any other game. So she has lunges. She has this persona-like entity called Thanatos, which she can set up. She has this move. 2-2C, or her 2-2 series, where she sends out the Thanatos out, and they can basically set up an orb that makes the opponent block, and then while Orie comes up and she pressures you. So her 2-2C, which is basically an instant, okay, you stay right there while I walk up and get over there. Okay, so she has that. She has lunges that are really good. She can do full screen held down lunges, and if you get hit, then she can get a full combo, a full conversion off of it. But she's definitely more rush down for sure. She wants to poke out as much as possible. She's got some really good normals. 5A, which is, oh my god, 5A is super good, especially when trying to frame trap. She has a lot of frame traps, by the way, utilizing Thanatos and utilizing her normals. Lots of frame traps. Her force function allows her to actually have some pretty cool mobility as well, if you want to get gimmicky. But she's very rush down and very poke heavy oriented.
So where would you put her on? Beginner, intermediate, advanced?
I would put her in around beginner. She's a pretty simple character to pick up. Combos can be a little more challenging, but she has beginner routes, and her game plan is just very straightforward.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, I would say beginner for sure.
So Merkava?
Yeah, Merkava, whichever one. Yeah. Merkava is the one I say. This character is... Oh, I hate this fighting against this character. This character is mid-screen, just long range. He can even play at long range, to be honest, because he has stretchy limbs. But think of stretchy limbs, but like super rush down and super fast too. He's got a glide, so he can stay up in the air for long periods of time. And he can basically glide down to you and utilize some of his air normals, which like he can stick out these air normals anywhere and it'll hit you.
Yeah.
Very rush down, and also set play heavy because he has these babies. I call them babies. So he like puts them down after a combo, and then they basically go at it while he mixes you up. And they also attack on some damage too. Yeah. He also has one of the weirdest reversals I ever come across. It's EX Noodles, which is basically him just throwing 100. It's like a 100-hand slap.
Yeah.
But like think of it as a reversal, and it's safe. So that got nerfed this version actually. Now it went from -2 to -3, and the only way to really punish the EX noodle arms is to shield the very last hit, and that would make it punishable. And that was so hard to do.
Serious.
So yeah, very hard. But now it's -3 overall. So characters like Wagner and Eltnum, which I'm about to go over, their EX DPs are 3 frame startups. So if you play Wagner, they do, and Merkava does EX noodle arms on you, it's a guaranteed punish. So with that being said, one more thing. Yeah.
Okay.
So Merkava, yeah, he's got a lot of really cool tools, very obscure tools as well. But he's on the intermediate, like beginner to intermediate side, because he's got some pretty straightforward routes and straightforward game plan. But to get into his like conversions and to get into the mix-ups and such, that can be a bit tough. Intermediate side. So yeah, from intermediate to beginner.
Would you say that this character is kind of like Dowsing from Street Fighter or Necro from Street Fighter?
It might more than anything like kind of like Necro.
Yeah, I thought so. Yeah,
because a little bit more like Necro, but I would say more mobile than Necro too, and the conversions and the damage and the reversals all better than Necro. But if I were to put a similarity, it would definitely be with Necro more than Dawson.
Okay, cool. I see a lot of people in my stream chats that they hate this character as well.
Oh, the fighting against this character is a nuisance. Oh man, I don't know if you know who Breaker Dave is. Breaker Dave, Burger Time, they're really good Merkava players in California, and man, they're super good, and they just do not make fighting against that character fun.
Okay, cool. I've never fought against this character, but I'm definitely not looking forward to it from the sounds of things.
Yeah, you better watch out. He's got some obscure things that will catch you off guard.
Yeah.
Be on the lookout.
So Hilda,
the lady, the Ojo, she's got the Karen laugh.
Yeah.
So, she is a long-range zoner character, like in every sense of the word. She is the zoner of the game.
Yeah.
I would put her in terms of how easy or hard she is. She is one of the harder characters in the game. For sure. Like my top 5, just now that we went over all of them, is in no particular order except for like the 4th and 5th. Yuzu, Seth, Vatista, and then Carmine and Hilda. Hilda is pretty obscure. She is very weak on defense, but her offense is relentless because she's got full screen pressure, and she's got different things that can make you just stay full screen, and she's got different things to make you question whether or not you can challenge. You definitely have to utilize the system's mechanics to be able to get around Hilda nonsense. And of course, she's got full screen mix-ups. She's got this pin that you have to hold. She's got holds that's an overhead, and she can convert off of it too. So she's got a lot of different things that can just make you want to hate life. A lot of people hate fighting against Hilda for sure, but she can be exploitable, especially when you get in front of her, because she doesn't really have a reversal at all. Her only reversal is to mash. That's it. So for the most part, yeah, she's a very hard character. I think she's one of the hard. I picked up this character and it was just I had to completely relearn the game with her, because I'm used to getting in on the opponent, and this character, you don't want to do that unless you know for sure there's a mix-up, because she can do some mix-ups, of course, but and she can open you up from up close, but she's mostly, her strengths are long range.
So where would you so you say that she's hard to use, yeah?
Yeah, she's very hard to use. Yes.
So if someone that don't have the UNIS kind of like background, would you say that this is a character that you wouldn't not recommend to like beginners?
I am one of the enforcers where I just say play whoever you want to play. But if you want to go mostly by play style, yeah, this character, I would not recommend this character if you want to learn the game particularly. I would recommend somebody like Hyde or Akatsuki, or one of those characters, or Nanase even.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Last but not least, is it Eltnum?
Eltnum. So this character is also a guest character. This character's her real name is Shion from Melty Blood.
Oh, wow.
They put her in this game, and there's some similarities, but this time, well, I think she had it in Melty. I haven't played too much Melty Blood, or even Shion in Melty Blood. But she's got a gun. She can shoot you, so be careful. She's a mid-screen to Rush down. She's a rush down mid-screen character where she utilizes her gun to be able to play neutral. I would say I would put her in the intermediate section because she does have some resource management with her bullets, and of course she has this reload timer where if you get it just right, and if you press the button at an exact moment in time, her bullets actually become better and her gun gets better. They become powered up, just powered up projectiles that change frame data and such. So depending on what ammo she has, and of course what kind of resources she has when it comes to meter and such, she can convert from mid-screen pretty easily with her EX whip. And she can also do some really, and in this patch right now, they actually give her a backdash, which is nobody has a backdash except for maybe Merkava. Merkava also has they gave him a kind of a back glide. But Eltnum is basically kind of very similar to her Melty Blood self now in clear. But she's got a lot of cool tools to be able to get in and to play neutral from mid-screen. And then when she gets in, then she's kind of relentless too, but not as bad as Wagner. But yeah, she is a very strong character too. DP, guns, and really cool conversion game too. So I would put her in the intermediate section because of resource management and conversions can be kind of iffy. So.
All right, nice, man. All right, well. Obviously, that taught me how to like understand which character was good for me. Obviously, people that are out there that are trying to learn this game, you lot know the character overview. But without leaving, we can't. You have to give us your socials, man. Let the people know where you're from. The YouTube, the Twitch, Twitter.
Of course. Yeah. So I am Koefficient. I got a YouTube. Just Koefficient 63. Or just Koefficient, just like Koefficient with a K, KOEFFICIENT. And I have a Twitter at the Koefficient, of course, and I have a Twitch that's Koefficient63 as well. I stream regularly, a lot of anime games and Grand Blue mostly, but try to be as weeaboo as I can without actually being weeaboo. So.
Yeah, man. Like I said, I've been wanting to do this type of series for a long time. Get other content creators that are in fighting game community. Bring them together, especially on games that I'm not so familiar with, and you know, just try and push it out there a lot more as much as I can. And I feel like there ain't much collabs going on in terms of fighting game streamers, content creators and stuff, so I just thought I'd use my initiative to kind of, you know, bring people like yourself on and just, you know, just try and understand the game a lot more better rather than being stubborn and trying to do it myself. You know?
For sure. I appreciate you having me on and having me playing the game a little bit. So.
Yeah, man. No worries, man. Well, I'm gonna play some of the games now. You're free to stay on if you want to.
For sure. I actually just got word from one of my brothers. I might have to do something real quick, but I will stick around for at least one match.
All right, sick. Well, I'll go into rank, man.